To conclude, because I've said that the first two ways use the body to heal and are therefore very safe, you might just consider using at least one of them for 4 weeks from a health practitioner who uses one of these approaches. Why 4 weeks? Because that will give you enough time to determine if you are heading in the right direction. See if you like it. Use common sense. Why wouldn't you consider using a nerve supply or a blood supply to your health problem if it applies, and I emphasize if it applies, and use the body to heal it from the inside? After all, think about this. The body knows way more about healing than any of us. 4 weeks worth of care is also less expensive than a lot of medical procedures you can have done, like an MRI, which would require treatment if it reveals a problem involving even more expense. Throughout the course of nearly 40 years of working with patients, only using the power of their bodies to heal, getting great results by the way, I can only shake my head when we try and tell the body what we think it needs from the outside and assume we are always right, and then want to take all the credit. You see, what I'm saying is, get different opinions. Don't be afraid to ask tough questions. Understand how things work. Use common sense. And if something doesn't appear to be working, look for a different approach. By now, hopefully, you've learned that no single healing profession has all the answers and should run the healthcare show. But that's not the case in our country, which is why you're listening to me now. So, how do you find a good doctor? Well, first find one that has your best interests at heart instead of theirs, and that you're not just another number. That's easier said than done. Second, look for one who encourages questions and explores all the options out there, because it's your life you're talking about. So, who is to blame for the mess we are in? Understand that it's not just your medical doctor. They are like candy manufacturers in one regard, however, because they are simply responding to a demand from the public. Yet I believe most are doing the best they can with the training and tools they have at their disposal. You see, they're just married to concepts that can't possibly answer all of our questions. What do you suppose would happen if demand fell for their services because we started taking better care of ourselves, for example? You already know the answer. Perhaps it's time we asked better questions, like, what caused us to think medicine has all the answers? Or better yet, who should we really be blaming for the mess we are in? Fair questions, don't you think? That's a topic for another video. But the short answer to those questions is us. We are the biggest part of the problem. You see, it has always been easier to blame the poor doctor, or not so poor doctor, if you know what I mean, instead of ourselves. Just remember, we as a people don't tend to do anything until we have a problem, and then we all want a quick fix. Quick fixes rarely work in the long run. Waiting for symptoms also plays right into medicine's hands, because they have been trained that way. Let me give you an example we can all relate to. Imagine, instead of your body driving your brand new Ferrari off a dealer's lot, always making sure you put cheap processed fuel in it, and then not doing any preventative maintenance on it until it eventually breaks down. Kind of stupid, don't you think? Yet we do it to our bodies all the time. Yikes. But keep in mind, while we've been talking, thousands of critical yet interrelated processes have been taking place in your body. and they are coordinated by your brain and nervous system, expressed as energy, allowing you to flow with the rhythm of life. You know what? You're digesting food, assembling body parts, making hormones, repairing, producing tears, growing hair, except in my case, even regulating body temperature, all without outside help, thank you very much. And in spite of this, the first thing we've been trained to do is to dump some chemical into it from the outside and think that will solve it. Using chemicals and surgery is such a crude and simplistic approach compared to our bodies once you know how it works. It's like this. It's like trying to build a skyscraper with only a hammer and saw. How did we ever get so short-sighted? The body is way too interrelated for that to work well. Yet we've gotten really creative in ways to use these tools. Does that mean we should abandon medicine altogether? Of course not. Just understand how it works and why it works and what you ultimately want to accomplish. Hopefully, I can at least get you started in the right direction. We can talk about where we need to go from here, and the answer is not going to be found simply in a bottle of pills. You're not going to solve all of mankind's health problems by only using part of the equation. Achieving your true health potential is going to take so much more than this.